want you to lean in for this one because it's not your typical episode. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on something that's been weighing on my heart for a long time. If you've ever felt lost or overwhelmed trying to find real help after infidelity, this one's for you. I'm talking about the therapists, the programs, the experts out there, and how to know who you can actually trust with something as sacred as your healing and your relationship. So welcome to episode 88 of the Relationships Uncomplicated podcast. I'm your host, Edith Chironi, and today we are answering the question so many of you have. How do I find the right help after infidelity? Now, this episode was born out of one of the most selfless requests I get from clients who say, Edith, please tell others what we wish we had known when we were searching for help. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm breaking it all down for you. But before we jump in, let's hear from our episode's sponsor. This episode is sponsored by my Infidelity Recovery and Healing program, It's Okay to Stay. If you're struggling in the aftermath of infidelity but want to stay together, you can rebuild trust and heal through genuine expert help from me and my team personally. I started It's Okay to Stay after seeing couples therapy and self-help options often lacked essential components to help couples save their relationship after infidelity. It's Okay to Stay is a complete 8-week coaching program that involves an online roadmap course and one-on-one work with an affair recovery specialist. So if you have faith in your relationship and you want to stay together and heal, let's talk. I'm offering a 45-minute free consultation for couples who want to save their relationship and need expert help. If that's you, just go online to edithchironi.com/45 and pick a time for a video call that both you and your partner can commit to. I'll hop on. We're first going to start with understanding your struggle, and then we're going to walk through It's Okay to Stay to see if the program is right for you. Look, so many couples try therapy and self-help methods only to be put at odds with each other. But that doesn't have to be you. With expert help, It's Okay to Stay will give you the clarity that you need to understand each other, to heal, and to find a path forward past infidelity. So again, all you have to do to book your free consultation is to go to edithchironi.com/45. That's idithcharoni.com/45. I'll be honored to stand alongside with you on this journey. Welcome back. So this is the story that sparked this episode, because for months my team and I have been meaning to record this episode, but what finally hit the fire was a couple who came to us recently, and their story, it stuck with me. Now, this couple, before they found us, they had signed up for infidelity recovery or affair counseling program from a company I won't name here. But let's just say, when I looked into it, it got me worried. Now, what really got me worried is their level of despair during the meeting with us. It was something I don't remember seeing before. I mean, I've seen despair before, working with couples in the aftermath of infidelity for more than a decade. Trust me, I've seen that before. But this was despair that was really, really frightening and heartbreaking. And I think, especially when it comes from a couple who is in the middle of what was called, or this company called infidelity counseling. It didn't feel like they were going through counseling. And as soon as we got off the call with them, I started looking up information about this company, wanted to see what it's all about. The first thing that struck me was the resemblance of their website to our website, and then also parts of the copy from our website that was copied into their website, which normally would frustrate me and our team because we work so hard on making our website beautiful and accessible and have amazing content for you. And to just have someone kind of copy that, it's really frustrating. Not something that didn't happen before. But what broke my heart was the fact that this couple was in the midst of what they thought was helping them, or actually they didn't think it was helping them, but what was supposed to be help for them. And yet them feeling so drained, so emotionally spent, and literally ready to give up. Now, they seriously came to the meeting with us as a last resort, but they didn't really think their relationship was salvageable. So that first meeting, there were a lot of tears, but something else happened too. They finally felt hope. Now, since they've been working with one of our top therapists, and they've been doing incredibly well. But it didn't have to take that much pain to get here. So I'm sharing what I've seen and what you deserve to know, so you don't fall into the same trap. By the way, sometimes it's not a trap. It's just unhelpful. But in the aftermath of infidelity, you don't always have the luxury of time and trial and error. So I'm going to be as helpful as I can to save you the time and heartache as you're searching for help in the aftermath of infidelity. Okay, so here's what we're covering today in this episode, and I really want you to stick with me till the end because this could truly save you months or even years of heartache. First, we're going to talk about what the right help looks like in the aftermath of infidelity and how to recognize it. Then we'll talk about why it's so critical to find the right help early on. Then we'll talk about step-by-step guidance on how to search for the right support. We'll talk about common red flags to avoid, including one that might surprise you. And then in the end, I'm adding a bonus section with what to look for in a consultation call before signing up for therapy or a program or anything else that offers a consultation call. Now, this is one of those episodes you might want to take notes on or even listen twice. And because I want this information to be easily accessible, I created a free no email needed download with everything we're talking about today. So you can grab it at edcharoni.com/vetting, edcharoni.com/vetting with double T. All right, let's dive in. So let's get clear about what is the right help after infidelity. Let's start with the basics, because so many people don't even know what good, ethical, effective help should look like. When you're in the thick of betrayal trauma, just being able to function is an accomplishment. And that's why it's so easy to get swept up in something that sounds helpful but isn't rooted in any real framework. So let me break down what the right help actually looks like. First, it's structured. You're not just going to therapy to talk about your week and cry. While emotional expression is important, the process should be goal-oriented. You should know where you're headed, what the steps are, and how healing is measured over time. Let me explain that a little bit. So if you find yourself going to therapy, that usually happens in a therapy setting more than other settings. Therapy is usually not as structured as it should be in the aftermath of infidelity. And therefore, you might find yourself repeating kind of the same idea of venting and venting and venting and talking about your week and talking about what came up for you, and which it's nice to be able to unload, and you need to be able to do that, but it's not going to get you anywhere in your healing after infidelity. Unloading may make you feel a little better, but it's not helpful in the aftermath of infidelity if you want to get somewhere. Okay. I'll give you an example. In our work with couples, we follow a 3-phase roadmap that takes couples from chaos to clarity to reconnection. It's not linear by any means. I mean, I wish it was that simple. It's not linear, but it's deeply, deeply intentional. And when I say it's something that needs to be measured and goal-oriented, you need to be able to have goals that you set for yourself when you work in the aftermath of infidelity. And you need to be able to measure, am I closer to my goals? Am I not even, have I made any steps towards those goals? It needs to be clear. The only way things like that can be clear if there's a structure, and it at this level of chaos, you need a step-by-step structure. And so just make sure that you know that. Okay. The second thing I want to talk to you about when it comes to what is the right help, the right help is relational. Now, this is important. Infidelity is a relational injury. So while individual therapy has its place, the healing has to happen in the relationship. That means the therapist or coach or program should be addressing both partners together with empathy, with balance, all of that, but together. And so if you're offered therapy that is individual or a program that offers both partners sessions or whatever they want to call it that are individual, then you are probably not getting the help you really need because you're trying to apply individual solutions to a relational problem. And I'm telling you, that's not going to work. It's usually going to make you more desperate because you need to be seen together, and for this to be addressed as what it is, a relational issue. Okay. The next one is an ethical and good help is guided by a qualified expert. Now, this one can't be overstated. Seriously, please look for someone who is licensed with credentials you can verify, who has actual experience working with infidelity recovery. Please. Anyone can call themselves a coach, but not everyone is equipped with the ability to handle the level of trauma couples are navigating in the aftermath of betrayal. And so I will talk about this later, exactly how to make sure you are working not with a self-proclaimed guru or expert or whatever they want to call themselves, but actually with someone with a license, someone who has the education, the experience, the training to help you. Okay. Now let's talk about why. Why is it so important to find the right help and early on? Now, here's something most people don't realize until it's too late. When you're in the aftermath of infidelity, you're not just heartbroken. You're mentally and emotionally exhausted. You're desperate to feel better, to believe that healing is possible, and that desperation, it makes you vulnerable. That's when you start overlooking red flags. That's when you don't read the small print, meaning you don't do a thorough search. And let me tell you, In the best case scenario, if the support isn't great, you might eventually recognize that and find someone better. But for so many couples, the consequences are deeper than that. They lose precious time trying to make it work with a provider that just isn't helpful. They spend sometimes thousands of dollars on a process that leaves them worse than before. And the worst is that they lose hope. And sometimes they give up entirely. Now, some of the people I've worked with have come to me after multiple failed attempts at therapy, counseling, groups, you name it. And by then, they're not just hurting. They're convinced they're broken beyond repair. That breaks my heart. Because here's the truth. With the right help, healing is absolutely possible. I'm going to repeat that because I really need you to believe me. That with the right help, healing after infidelity is absolutely possible. But the longer you're stuck with the wrong help, with the wrong provider, with the wrong practitioner, the harder it becomes to believe that this is an actual possibility. So, let's talk about how to find the right help. This is going to be a step-by-step guide. Okay, now we're going to shift from talking about things, we're going to shift into action. So here's how to go from overwhelmed and uncertain to empowered and clear when searching for support. Number 1, start with an intentional search. Most people will start their search on Google or use AI. Now, Google can be a powerful tool, but only if you know what to look for. Don't just type therapy after cheating. Be specific. Try maybe infidelity recovery program, infidelity recovery therapist, affair recovery therapist, licensed marriage and family therapist. And I say licensed marriage and family therapist because LMFTs are trained from day one to look at relationships rather than look at the individual. There are probably more words and phrases you can look for, but be specific. Now, when you search for something like that, half of your page is going to be ads. Okay? So notice the Google ads, especially the ads of those who never show up on the first pages of Google search. Okay? So what I mean is you get an ad for something, but that specific practice or website never shows up on Google organically. Okay? And so they need the ad. It means that Google does not consider those websites a good, reliable source of information for you. If these websites only appear as ads, it could be a red flag right there. Okay? If you're using AI search tool, that's great. You can ask for therapists who specialize in infidelity recovery and have verified licenses. You can also ask it to tell you who are the most trusted and well-regarded infidelity recovery experts or programs. Go try that. And I'm pretty sure you're going to see us there. Okay. Next, number 2, examine the website closely. So whether you're using Google or AI search like ChatGPT or anything like that, don't just jump into the page they want you to see. Go examine the whole website closely. Is this website dedicated to the topic of relationships, affair recovery, or is it more of like a general website for whatever treatment on earth? Depression, anxiety, any type of mental health issue? Or is this website really dedicated to couples, to relationships? And and maybe it's even directly specializes in affair recovery or infidelity. If so, it's a good sign. Now, continue to look into this website. Can you see who the practitioners are? Does the website list their license, their education? Do they describe their method? Do they share content like blog posts or podcast episodes? Anything that shows how they work? Are there pages dedicated to the specific services that this practice offers? Or is it vague? The right therapist or program will want you to understand their approach, and they will want you to get as much information about them as possible, about the team, the process, the treatment, whatever it is, the costs. So make sure that you can find that on the website. If the website is 3-4 pages, then it's there just because they needed to put an ad and the ad needed to lead you somewhere. And it's probably not the best service. If this is a well-established practice, they will have a very rich website. I'll talk more about it in the red flags, but just know that. Okay, our third point here is check out the content. So if you're on their website and you see a podcast, a blog, or a YouTube channel, that's a good sign, because any one of those are excellent places for the practitioners to talk about their approach, or to talk about an issue, or to give you tips, or just for you to get a feel for who they are. Now, if you get to see that, listen to those episodes, read those blog posts, watch those videos on their YouTube channel. Do they sound like someone who gets it? Are they using language that makes you feel safe and understood? If so, that's a good sign. Our fourth point here is ask for a referral. So sometimes you're going to look online, and that's because you don't want to share your problem with anyone, which I totally understand. But sometimes you might share and someone will offer a referral. And that can be a friend, or that can be a family member, or that could be maybe a trusted practitioner. So sometimes other practitioners or other therapists will refer people to us because they trust us. So if someone you trust has gone through a similar experience, or you know that they've been using therapy, ask who helped them. Then dig deeper. What specifically helped? Was the process structured? Did they offer assessments? Did they offer research-backed tools? Make sure that you know why this person is referring you directly, specifically to that practitioner, and that it's not just a name that they have on a list. Next, our last point is make sure to speak to a human, if possible, before you commit to anything. So these are usually going to be phone or video consultations. If offered, speak to a human, preferably a licensed therapist, not a salesperson. Now, many therapists provide a consultation with one of their own therapists. So many practices will do the consultations using one of their therapists, or for us, I do the phone consultations, and another therapist is our program specialist, and will do some of the consultations. We believe that consultations need to be done by a therapist and not a salesperson. Now, in some cases, you will be invited into a meeting with a salesperson who is not a practitioner. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a problem, but I want you to be aware of it. A salesperson specializes in sales and is trained to sell you the product effectively, the product or the service, right? A therapist, even if they're excellent in sales, knows to make sure this treatment is the proper treatment for you specifically. They will see if you need to be referred out or if what you need is outside of their scope of practice, right? And that is very, very important. So find out who is doing that consultation. Is it more of the salesperson or someone? There are different names for these people, and sometimes they're like the community outreach person or the office administrator. If that's the case, it doesn't mean it's bad. It just means be aware of it, that this person is not a therapist. Or if you don't know and you just go on the call, just ask, do you happen to be a therapist? And being aware of it puts you in a place where you can maybe come up with some important questions for this person before committing to the service. Okay, so now let's talk about what to look out for. So the red flags, okay? So these are the things you want to pay attention to, you want to be careful of. Number one, self-proclaimed experts. So when I talk about self-proclaimed experts, these are the people who have no license, no clinical background. Usually there's no mention of ethics or training, just someone calling themselves a coach, a healer, an expert. Please be careful here. Now, I've also seen people who have academic credentials that have nothing to do with clinical experience presented as doctor or MBA. Now, look for the letters after the person's full name. If they're licensed in the mental health field, they're likely to have one of these after their name. LMFT, Licensed Marriage and Family Therapist, LCSW, LMHC, LPC, PsyD. There might be other names that I didn't mention here. So please check yourself what the name or the letters after the name mean. For example, an MBA is a Master of Business Administration. That has nothing to do with clinical experience. And I've seen people call themselves experts in affair recovery, and they have an MBA. I'm sorry, that does not make you an expert. And that does not allow you or the ability or gives you the ability to treat people who are suffering from trauma. Also, by the way, a PhD stands for Doctor of Philosophy, which is the highest academic degree you can earn in most fields. But it can be in any field. So it has to come with an actual license. For example, our clinical director, Dr. Yael Haklai-Niego, has both LMFT and PhD after her name. It means she holds a doctorate in philosophy in marriage and family therapy, and she is also a licensed marriage and family therapist. The PhD is granted by the university, and the LMFT, the license, is granted by the Department of Health. Okay? So it's not enough that someone is a PhD, because they could be PhD in agriculture. Look for the license. Make sure to even check that license. And you can look up licenses almost, I believe, every state in the U.S. has a license lookup. Go to the Department of Health website in your state, type lookup license, and try to find those people. Make sure that you're working with someone who is licensed and in good standing just as you would if this was your cardiologist about to operate on you. You would do that, probably. I hope so. So do that for your therapist as well. Okay. Next red flag is generalists. So if a provider treats everything under the sun, from eating disorder to parenting to couples therapy to depression, anxiety, they probably don't have the depth needed to support you through infidelity healing. This is a specialty. You need someone who has been there before, who has worked with couples in the aftermath of infidelity before, who is specifically trained, heavily trained in working with people in the aftermath of infidelity. It's not something you can just wing as a therapist, and it can create damage. And so make sure as the couple to find someone who can literally show you that they have done this before, many, many times before. Next red flag is lack of transparency. So we'll talk about the lack of transparency from the actual provider, and then we'll talk about the website. So let's start with the provider. If you cannot find a license number, a bio, or even last names, yes, I've seen. Remember that couple I mentioned when I looked for the company they worked with? They were literally the first name of the practitioners, some of them. There was no last name. It was just really ridiculous. So make sure if you're going to work with someone, with a company, know the team first and last name, and then what comes after the last name, and verify that. So if you cannot find the license or the license number or a bio or a last name, pause. Now, also, if the methods are vague, if the team is a mystery, or if the whole site feels too slick but too empty, trust your gut. Now, let's talk about specifically the website. Vague websites with little information, they look like they were written by AI sometimes. They have very few pages, no blogging or ongoing knowledge base. They show up mostly on ads on Google, but they do not show organically on the search results page. This is a red flag. Also, the method. So when you look into what is the method behind this practitioner who is offering to help me in the aftermath of my infidelity or our situation, sometimes you will see that there is a method, but an invented method that is not research-based, that is kind of like an acronym made by a self-proclaimed coach who is not a licensed professional in the mental health field, is a red flag. It took me years to create my roadmap to infidelity. I needed the years of experience working with couples, spending thousands of hours with them in the trenches of affair recovery. I needed post-grad school trainings to learn the research and the methods out there. I needed to try those with my couples. I needed all of that, years and years and years, to be able to find the right combination that works each time. It took me literally years to perfect my program and my method. So please make sure that whatever you sign up to or work or whoever you work with has done that before they are offering anything to you. Okay, so now that you have a good understanding of what the right help is, why it is so important in the aftermath of infidelity, what to look for, and what to be careful of, it's time for the bonus. How to prepare for a consultation call. Whether you're scheduling a phone consultation with a local therapist or a video call with a company that offers a fair recovery help, I've got your back. I'll go over exactly how to prepare for it. So when you show up, it's when you're ready to ask the right questions and make the best informed decisions. We'll jump into that right after this episode's sponsor message. This episode is sponsored by my Infidelity Recovery and Healing program, It's Okay to Stay. If you're struggling in the aftermath of infidelity but want to stay together, you can rebuild trust and heal through genuine expert help from me and my team personally. I started It's Okay to Stay after seeing couples therapy and self-help options often lacked essential components to help couples save their relationship after infidelity. It's Okay to Stay is a complete 8-week coaching program that involves an online roadmap course and one-on-one work with an affair recovery specialist. So if you have faith in your relationship and you want to stay together and heal, let's talk. I'm offering a 45-minute free consultation for couples who want to save their relationship and need expert help. If that's you, just go online to edithcheroni.com/45 and pick a time for a video call that both you and your partner can commit to. I'll hop on. We're first going to start with understanding your struggle, and then we're going to walk through It's Okay to Stay to see if the program is right for you. Look, so many couples try therapy and self-help methods only to be put at odds with each other. But that doesn't have to be you. With expert help, It's Okay to Stay will give you the clarity that you need to understand each other, to heal, and to find a path forward past infidelity. So again, all you have to do to book your free consultation is to go to edithcheroni.com/45. That's iditscharoni.com/45. I'll be honored to stand alongside with you on this journey. Okay, we're back with the last piece, which is a bonus piece. How to prepare for a consultation call. If you're offered a free consultation, that's a good sign. But you'll get so much more from it if you come prepared. As I mentioned earlier, I personally prefer the consultations that are done by the therapist and not a salesperson. But you don't always have control over that. You can ask, though, who will be doing the consultation? Is it going to be one of your therapists? Is it going to be someone else? Just for you to be aware of that when you're in the call. Okay, so here is how to prepare. Number 1, research the heck out of the practice or provider first. So after scheduling, go to their website, go to the different pages, specifically look for content they provided for free, like a podcast, a blog post, guides. If there's anything out there that can give you a glimpse into the way they think, into the way they work, into how they conceptualize the aftermath of infidelity, that is great. Now, if there's a podcast there, listen to it. If there's a blog, read it. Read don't just listen to one episode. Don't just read one blog post. Go through some of them. Read what they say about the topic of interest. Read about the process, read about their specialties. Look for a specialty page or a service page. For example, under services, see what this practice or what this practitioner is offering. And see if you can find information about the specific service you are looking for. If so, learn as much as possible about what you're getting. And learn about it before the consultation. That will position you in a place where you can clarify things rather than hear them for the first time in that consultation. So look for that. Also, look for the about page or the pages about the team, and hopefully learn who is going to be your therapist or who is going to even do your consultation. You might get the names of these people before, or you might be offered to work with this one versus that one. Learn about them before, so it's not just a name that comes up in a consultation and the first time you hear about that name. Okay, next. I already mentioned it, I'll mention it again. Check licenses and credentials. Really, I cannot overstate it. I think this is the third time I'm mentioning it here. And it can sound like I am really saying it over and over again, but I feel like I should, because I cannot tell you how many people end up working with other people who have no idea, no training, no nothing that can really, really help them. So that's why I'm stressing it so much. Check the license, check the credentials. Do the people on that team that you're going to work with, do they have the proper training and clinical oversight? Now, in every state, like I mentioned, there's a license lookup where you can see if the provider has a license and if it is in good standing. Do it like you would if this person were about to operate on you. Okay, next. Prepare your questions. So before the consultation, you will have some questions you need answered. Write them down. Come with questions. Ask about the method that they're using. How long is the process? Is it a 3-year process? Is it a 3-week process? What is it? Is there a step-by-step roadmap? Or we call it roadmap. Some people call it something else. Is there a step-by-step process that you're going to go through? Is it research-based, or it's somebody's invention? They don't know if it works, never been tried, or have been tried, but they give you all kinds of numbers. You don't even know. What is it that they're offering you? Are they trained in that? So sometimes I've seen people throw names like the Gottman method, but the Gottman method is not just something you can find online and say that you've read the book. You need to be trained in that method. And the training is very extensive. And there are levels to that training. And so only practitioners who actually have gone through the training can say that they are using the Gottman method. Ask, what outcomes can you expect, right? So what am I working towards, to see if there's like a goal there. Okay, next. This is something that is more like an intuition. Pay attention to how you feel. Do you feel seen and supported, or do you feel sold to? A good consultation is not a pitch. It's a real conversation about whether this is the right next step for you. For us, it's mostly guided by our ethics to not provide you with a service that we do not honestly believe will be best for you. And the next thing that we also believe is that we do not want to do harm. And so these are some of the ethics that guide us in our consultations. That is why we begin with an interview, and we actually interview you to make sure that our service is the best solution for your specific case. And if it isn't, we provide other referrals. In fact, I would say about a quarter of our infidelity recovery program consultations end with a referral to another provider or another program. Now, it's a big difference between feeling like you're being sold to and feeling like the service is the best fit for you. If you come ready to a consultation, you'll know how to make the most out of your consultation time. You'll have the knowledge and the questions to make an informed decision. If you show up like this, you will be ready to make that decision once it feels you found your solution. Lastly, be ready to do the work. Tell yourself and your spouse that if this is the right solution, you're ready to do the work. If you're not ready, don't do the consultation just for the heck of it. It's a waste of your time and possibly damaging to your spouse. If your spouse is interested in getting the work done and you're not interested and you're not willing to commit, you will be damaging your partner and your relationship. It could be that the consultation will clarify to you that it is not the right provider or service. And that means you keep looking. But if you go to these consultations as a favor to your partner, and when it's money time, you withdraw, you're only creating more damage to your relationship. Make sure to show up only when you're open to doing the work. Okay, time for final thoughts. Here's what I want to leave you with. If you're listening to this and you're in pain, if you're exhausted from trying to figure it out, if you're lost, if you've lost trust, you lost connection or hope, know this: you are not beyond repair. Your relationship is not too far gone, and you can heal from this with the right help. I created a free guide for you that covers everything I discussed today, and you can download it at iditceroni.com/vetting. That's IDITSHARONI.com/vetting, VETTING. And no email is required. You can just go to that page and just download it there. And if you want to explore working with our team, we offer a free 45-minute video consultation where we talk through what's going on and whether our infidelity recovery program is the good fit for you. You can schedule that at iditceroni.com/45. That's it. Thank you so much for being here today, for listening to all of this. And if this episode helped you, please share it with someone who needs it. You've got this. And I'm cheering on you every step of the way. Take care.